She won't put that pussy on me, put it on me, gon' fuck from nights all the way to the morning. No, stop. Shout out to NBA YoungBoy. From recently, he's been more active on social media in general than previous years. I don't know. He seems happy though, so I'm glad about that. He seems happy. This video is by Blackie Speaks. Definitely shout out to Blackie Speaks. This NBA young boy, stop the violence. From what I heard, he's turning down $15 million tours, so he gotta have something holding in the bank to be doing that.
Stop the violence. Stop the violence.
No, NBA YoungBoy says, stop the violence. Very surprising statement coming from the man himself, but I'm obviously in support of that message. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday, NBA YoungBoy actually hopped on Instagram, which he's been doing a lot of as of lately, but he hopped on Instagram and posted a video where he said the following.
Mr. Garden.
Hey, stop the violence. Hey, look at me. I could promise you it's a bigger side of life. Stop the violence. You could be a rich nigga, you hear me? I could promise you. I'm talking about, I ain't gonna tell you what's in my bank account, bitch, but hey, stop the violence.
You gotta be a lot.
You hear me? Thank you.
Now, I don't know why this video was so funny, but, I laughed when I initially saw it. Just the way YoungBoy turns around, his hands out in the air like he's about to dive in a pool or something, and then he's like, stop the violence. It was funny. I posted this comment on IG where he should definitely follow me. Might be popping out a little pic soon, allegedly, wink wink, follow me. But I dropped this comment under the post that said, good message. I hope you keep the same energy on your records too. Given the nature of NBA YoungBoy, he's a rapper who talks about shit with niggas, talks about that a lot as a matter of fact. But given the kind of rapper YoungBoy is, this video kind of threw me off a little. And a lot of people are saying that YoungBoy's trolling. Just being honest, I don't really think YoungBoy's trolling with his statements at all. I think he actually means what he's saying. I mean, stop the violence.
Really?
Of course, we all want to stop the violence. Would you not agree? Especially after all the artists we've lost in the culture? Of course you would. Come on now. One reason why I don't really think YoungBoy's trolling is because this kind of statement opens up YoungBoy for a lot of criticism, and that criticism has been poured in actually. People heard him say this, and immediately people jumped the gun, no pun intended, and they said, you're saying stop the violence, but you literally built your platform off of talking about these things. You're a hypocrite, YoungBoy. The way I look at it, two things can be true at once, and there's a reason why I'm not gonna sit here and go off on YoungBoy for his statement, even though there's definitely a lot of hypocrisy here, considering the fact that he's talking about the very thing he's telling people to not talk about. YoungBoy is a prominent rapper in the culture of hip-hop. As long as he stays safe, which I hope he does, he's not going anywhere. YoungBoy is honestly just the kind of rapper who I don't really think could ever truly fall off. He's just built such an immense fan base to the point where he could probably not release any music for the next 5 years, and his fans would still be rocking with him like he just dropped the hottest motherfucking tape in the game.
Honestly, with the body of work he puts out and how consistent he is, I know a lot of his fans still got a lot of music to catch up on. So he can do that if he chose to. Like, he can definitely do that if he chose to. But it wouldn't be a smart idea, but he can if he wants to. I say a year or a couple months or a year or two. I say he can do that.
What I'm saying is YoungBoy's not going anywhere. Given that fact, and given the fact that this is one of the hottest young rappers in the industry, probably the hottest rapper if you narrow it down to his specific lane, a message like this is definitely good for the genre. I mean, how is a message like this not good for the genre, despite the obvious hypocrisy that comes into play? The truth is, most rappers who rap about violence are never even gonna have the courage to say something like this, because like I said, that would open one up for a lot of criticism and a lot of unnecessary scrutiny. At least YoungBoy's saying something a lot of rappers won't say, which is stop the damn violence. That would be very nice, wouldn't it? If the violence in hip-hop could at least get decreased by a little, because at the rate we're going, considering the fact that on average we're losing at the very least 5 well-known and very recognized rappers to gun violence in the genre every single year. Just this year alone, Takeoff, PNB Rock, JD also got shot to death this summer. He got ambushed by 5 people, shot and killed outside his Louisiana home. Atlanta rapper Trouble also died this summer after a home invasion that took place in Atlanta. Memphis rapper Snooty Wild also died this year. He was found with a gunshot wound to his neck in a ditch in Houston, Texas. These are all real people who are living real lives. All these men had children, except for Takeoff. So I look at all the violence that's been going on in the culture and ask myself, when is it gonna stop? It's always ironic how there's always,
There's been
people
way
out
more
there
rappers
who
than that
see all
that
these
died.
deaths going on in the culture and choose to believe that it's not actually happening, which is really weird because, I mean, look at the numbers, look at the amount of rappers we've lost. Call it cognitive dissonance, if you will. I like to call it choosing to be blind. As for this conversation, though, I've spoken about it in the past and I'll say it again. It all comes down to the lifestyle, and I've said this before too, and I'll say this shit again. If you talk about violence in your music as a rapper, best believe that you have a target on your back. Ain't no way around that fact. If that's what you talk about, it's in the music, it's in the stories that you're telling, that's the energy that you're exuding. Unless you're very mindful of that fact, there is a chance that you will get caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to that, like, you rapping that gangster shit in your music, you could just be saying shit to sound cool, but people definitely gonna test you on that just for the fact of they want to know if you really like that. Like, and if you already like that, it makes your music more. Makes your music seem more real.
Because you're choosing to be ignorant to that fact. If you don't get caught in a crossfire, at some point, the people around you will probably get caught in a crossfire. If you don't believe me, take a look at any rapper who's alive right now who talks about violence in their music a lot. Even if they're alive and standing, best believe that they've lost a minimum of 2 people around them to the exact shit they talk about.
Facts.
On top of that, a lot of the rappers who talk about violence, not only have they lost loved ones to gun violence, they've also, most of the time, been the victims of several attacks where they were the intended target. What we've seen happen to a lot of rappers is they've been on the receiving end of violence. The people who tried taking them out failed, and then another situation comes where the same thing happens, but this time they weren't so lucky and they die. I hope YoungBoy actually means what he says. I don't really expect him to stop talking about it at all. The reality is that's what he's built his platform off of. It's almost like expecting McDonald's to stop serving burgers and start serving pizzas overnight. That's simply just not gonna happen. When your bread and butter is you talking about violence in the music, like YoungBoy, you cutting that out from your music puts your business at risk. For good or for worse, YoungBoy's a businessman. Making music is what he does, and I don't fault him for doing his job, but I do fault the people for looking at guys like YoungBoy thinking that, he has all the answers when he doesn't. He just happens to be very good at what he does. He has a huge audience, and that's about it. Anyway, I still salute YoungBoy for making that statement, even though, wrong messenger, I guess. It did seem like he was kind of trolling, by the way. Regardless of that, I stand behind the message. So once again, salute to
Definitely salute to Blackie Speaks. Salute to NBA YoungBoy. I see that he's actually very happy. He's been staying home with his kids. He said that's what he's been enjoying doing most. I support the message. I definitely support the message. I don't know if he was trolling. He said on his live that he was just gonna troll, just for fun. But I don't know if that specific message was trolling. But it's something that definitely needs to be spoke about because the amount of rappers that's dying at this fast rate is crazy. And it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay to some people because new rappers come out every day, but it won't hit the same. It just won't hit the same. With that being said, be safe. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.